News getting to us is that Ghana has actually seized the US helicopter that they saw in their base. You guys, what is the US helicopter doing in Ghana? This have actually gotten a lot of people panicking, like they have seized it. So I'm going to be allowing you guys to watch videos that explained what is really going on, because it has not been long that the US president captured Venezuela president. Now, the US helicopter in Ghana just 7 hours ago. So I'm going to be allowing you guys to watch videos and, other people reacting to the current situation. So if you're seeing me for the first time, I'm simply Lilian. Please do well by liking this video, subscribe and share.
So you are watching on the screens, a military aircrafts. But we will be follow the news. President Donald Trump will order the military and the US military to storm Venezuela to actually take and arrest Nicolas Maduro, or Venezuela president. In the middle of Venezuela president, and the US said they've taken control of the country. Trump said, say because to stop drug inflows, but on one case contradicting at the point in time saying, Obama US oil companies alcohol started drilling oil. So basically, it is because of US own strategic interest. And a key interest, which is the oil, because Venezuela has the largest oil reserves under any land here in the world. It's na air cost. But for some reason, na US force so one particular vehicle, one particular aircraft use. This particular aircraft, we are learning say a United States aircraft, a different King Air B200 aircrafts, and the tail number is 60171. We are learning that this particular aircraft on the screen, that's the real aircraft, and there are two screens also. It's operated by the US military elements. Now we are learning how Ghana has your north, your Paga National Park, crocodiles near the Ewo. But your parents say nothing border around Paga, no. Any who say which we share with Burkina Faso. Any who say aircraft for some reason they be any name. What you say, the aircraft is hovering around this area. So at the end of the day, we are learning that this particular aircraft it was seized. Intuition has said, the reports say the Paga local police commander who helped the youth to briefly hijack the unannounced and declared US aircraft has been transferred. According to the US police, according to the Ghana police, any investigations aircraft, and Ghana. Any Burkina Faso border sa and a police commissioner and a police commander will study aircraft name with the aircraft. What is it up to? Because it's the border. I didn't name and for some reason on one commandant or what and only you to know almost CZ and almost hijack. So US aircraft here unannounced. Hijacking and it is at the end of the day, no information about say hijack no hijack yes order from above into a transfer commander we want to put this on the screens, okay? Now you read some of the things that if you move air by we especially the video you be just sound of this particular aircraft so you can see exactly what this whole thing is basically about. Into share the way two screens so now share the what say or say reports say Paga local police command. In fact, you read it down part in about first. Or say alert. A King Air B200 aircraft, tail number 60171, operated by US military elements, was hijacked by angry residents of Paga near border with Burkina Faso following several days of clandestine activity in the town's unpaved airstrip. In the part say, yes, sir. If anything, aircraft and then number the use sa then nam go for field. So you need the air Brunisu na team. And then go for year tada into acquire na just park ya kurufuna so. And you could CZ aircraft or many police commander into aircraft and the screens as you can see we the number any way a frontal view of the aircraft and a way another view of the aircraft. So guess what? Almost CZ aircraft they pay any information but say you could CZ US aircraft one thing of course. So your friend is saying Venezuela and to say police commander and vehicle is together with you to know and to CZ aircraft and check and order ever say commander no CZ aircraft and transfer. So also reports say the Paga local police commander who helped the youth to briefly hijack the unannounced and declared US aircraft has been transferred. Before a bit national bombers and aircraft military aircraft near bomb some after the Bruni aircraft and back into stopping because you throw Abiana Trump then Tino no me a funny team. Ama aircraft wakasi hijacking military aircraft be one say Ghana two US bombers abaye. So regardless you question a brief encounter of these particular aircraft a stormy Paga CZ these are issues we we definitely have another angle to this particular update in terms of the US military activities and also Venezuela.
let's begin with our first topic for this year. And it's coming from a series of comments I've seen people bring up under my videos, ladies and gentlemen. It has to do with the establishment of a U.S. military base in Ghana. A U.S. military base in Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, I promise in this video to bring you the facts only and to also speak in favor of what's beneficial to we Ghanaians and to Africans in general. And first of all, I want to state this emphatically. The United States of America has only one official permanent military base in all of Africa. It's only one, and it's found in Djibouti. But the U.S. Army has what's also called defense cooperation agreements with many countries in Africa, which Ghana is one of them. They have this defense agreement with Kenya, Cameroon, Nigeria, Morocco, Uganda, and Senegal, and a strong partnership agreement with nearly half of the countries in Africa, which dates back to more than 2 decades, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is no news to those who know, but we've grown wiser as Africans. We know when it looks like a duck, swims like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it couldn't be a giraffe. It is a duck, which means it's not the name on the agreement or the establishment that matters. Be it a permanent military base or defense cooperation agreement, it doesn't really matter. But the operation of the agreement, ladies and gentlemen, that is what matters. Officially, what the U.S. Army has with the Ghana Army is supposed to allow American military personnel to operate in Ghana for the purposes of joint training and exercise and logistical support. Ladies and gentlemen, officially, that's the agreement. And this is because the Ghana government, under the ousted government, I mean the MPP government, sorted for the assistance of the U.S. Army in training our military for counter-terrorism purposes in 2018. This thing sparked public debate and died down eventually, as it's typical of Ghana. But it was something the U.S. government also wanted, because that's how the U.S. government operates with foreign countries that hosts U.S. interests. Ghana, ladies and gentlemen, is one of those countries that hosts American interests. The United States of America has so much interest in Ghana, from our natural resources, especially in gold, to our speaking English, which helps in communication in the sub-region, to their businesses in the country, to our democracy, which gives them the cushion for when there is a need for legal settlement, to the strategic location of our port and airport, to so many other things. These things made it reasonable for the U.S. itself to take interest in establishing that kind of agreement with Ghana. Take, for instance, the 3 Sahel states that has closed their borders and closed diplomatic lines with the Western countries. These 3 countries are all landlocked, ladies and gentlemen. They are locked, which means they take their import from Ghana, Togo, Benin, Nigeria, and typical of the U.S. government, they would like to know what's being imported in those countries. They may be restricted in access into those countries, but they will not be denied from knowing what goes in and out on a daily basis of those 3 countries. So they would want to have that kind of partnership with Ghana, even for that purpose. America wants to have a first-hand knowledge of what goes in and out of any country that isn't in good relations with them. And Ghana's port sits in the right spot for that purpose. This is America, and it won't change. Now, the purpose of the agreement between my country, Ghana, and the U.S. government is for training and logistical support for counterterrorism, like I said. But it also makes it permissible for the U.S. forces to use certain Ghanaian facilities, which many people have been raising questions about. One of those facilities is the Ghana airport. Reports are constantly made public as to how U.S. forces in Ghana are moving in and out freely from our airport, moving all sorts of equipment and armed men without any form of checks and supervision. They are unquestionable, untouchable, and uncontrollable with their activities in our country, in our airport. They walk among us every day in street clothing, in all forms and race. And this is what's raising the concern among many Ghanaians who are knowledgeable or care about such things, ladies and gentlemen. But the rest of the ordinary Ghanaian don't care about any of that. In fact, the regular Ghanaian wants to actually befriend them to hopefully get a visa to the United States of America. I'm speaking facts here, ladies and gentlemen. 99% of Ghanaians cannot have a discussion with you for more than 30 seconds on this US-based or agreement thing, because that's not part of their focus. That is not really of concern to them. Ghanaians love Americans. Ghana loves America, ladies and gentlemen. The regular Ghanaian will leave behind their marriage, their children, and education, and relocate to the States if the option is given. And so, for most people who raise this issue in Ghana, it doesn't get any mileage, ladies and gentlemen. Just recently, I went to a hotel in Accra, and in the lobby of the hotel had at least 50 American men and women in casual wears. But I could see, ladies and gentlemen, these weren't just random American tourists, judging from how they were physically built. I could see. And they had pretty much taken one whole section of the hotel block. Listen, they were having the best time of their life with the reception, and everybody there was just having fun, and I have no problem with that. Now, what I've just described is common in Ghana, and I have no problem with that. Like I said, it is a free country. You can do whatever you want to do, whether you are a local or a foreigner, so long as you are not breaking any laws. But I ask myself this question, looking at them. Where are they going? What is the agenda for where they are going to? Ladies and gentlemen, our country is a host to a lot of all kinds of people with all sorts of agenda. America happens to be the easiest target because they have made it official. But you know and I know, there are all sorts of trained men moving across our country with literally no state oversight. You know it. This defense cooperation agreement Ghana has with the US, in my opinion, wouldn't have been necessary if we were committing the right investment into our military. Do we as a people have the requisite aerial intelligence for counterterrorism for when there is an attack from above on this country, ladies and gentlemen? Are we investing in research works into technologies for defense of this country? We had a rickety military helicopter that carried state officials on a trip that malfunctioned and ended up killing everybody on board. Are these the equipment we are depending on for when there is an attack on this country, ladies and gentlemen? Who doesn't know that every underdeveloped country the US goes to ends up in a worse shape than before they arrived? Who doesn't know these things? Who doesn't know that America isn't there to protect the locals, but their interests and their people? Who doesn't know that the USA, who doesn't know these things, that the USA, for instance, is a bully? Who needs to know this in 2026? It has never, ladies and gentlemen, been a problem with the US because we know what the US is about and their foreign policies. We know it. It has always been a problem with our government and the way we have handled our institutions. The truth of the matter is, the moment Nkrumah was overthrown, everything went into disarray for when it came to our military and the protection of our sovereignty. Our military has since never had a roadmap as to what we want to become, ladies and gentlemen. It has been systematically politicized over the years. I personally do not like the idea of having whether a permanent US military base or a temporary military base in Ghana or any part of Africa. I personally don't like it. But at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, I know our military is undertrained and under-equipped. We have not invested in the schools and the research works where we could have had modern equipment to train our soldiers, and that is...
First of all, after what happened in Venezuela, some leaders actually came out to condemn what America did, including Ghana. You know that now anything that is not right, the office of the Ghana Foreign Ministry will release a statement. So this is the statement that was released by the Minister of Foreign Affairs. So it said, the government of the Republic of Ghana is alarmed at the unilateral and unauthorized invasion of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela by the United States of America and the subsequent abduction of President Nicolas Maduro and his wife in the early hours of Saturday, 3rd January 2026. Now, when Mr. Okujeto posted this on his Twitter page, if you go to the comment section, a lot of Ghanaians were there. Hey, Massa, this is not our concern. This should not be our problem. This does not concern us. Bro, it concerns everybody. This shows that if you don't do the bidding of the United States, they can come to your country and kidnap your president. This affects everybody. So this particular issue, it concerns everybody. It concerns everyone. It means that if you don't do the bidding of America, they will just come abduct your president. Then they'll come and install their own. Because during the press, this is what Trump said. We are going to run Venezuela until it is safe. We are going to run Venezuela. You, the America, want to go and run Venezuela. So if they abduct your president, let's say something happened, then they abduct the president. So don't you think that it's America that will come and say they're coming to run Ghana? It concerns everybody. When the back and forth was going on between Maduro and Trump was saying that, oh, narcotics, Venezuela was exporting drugs to America. When Maduro was abducted, during Trump's presser, not once did Trump mention anything about drugs. Not once did he say they're going to go after these drug kingpins or whatever. All he's saying is that we will repair the refineries and then we will industrialize or we will privatize the Venezuela oil, what, and then America will make a lot of money. All he was saying is that we will take over their oil. He never for once in that press conference says, oh, now that Maduro is arrested, the traffic will stop. No, all he's saying that, oh yeah, and it concerns everybody. America does not care about you. They care about how they will benefit from you. But last what I know is that empires rise and fall. Mongolia Empire, the Roman Empire, the British Empire, the Egyptian Empire, everyone, as long as you're up, you usually come down. So a time will come where America will no longer be the strongest nation in this one. It is a fact. It happens. It is the natural sequence of life. You understand?
It is being confirmed that the helicopter is indeed in Ghana. At this point, it's just a wake-up call for all of us in Africa, that because what is the need of ECOWAS? Just like what Tumtum Network said, these countries left ECOWAS and they are moving fine, because I just feel like this ECOWAS is just a means to benefit all these other continents such as France and the US. Because as it is like this, I just feel like other African countries should wake up, because Nigeria just be like, say they don't want the leak nash. So they shouldn't be like Nigerians that are leaking bomb, leaking France bomb, US bomb, taking out their mineral resources. What is the helicopter doing in Ghana? Obviously, we know that there is American is building US base, in Ghana. But for a helicopter to come into Ghana, there needs to be a communication between Ghana and, the US before that kind of helicopter can land. And as it is, the citizens have actually seized the helicopter. This is not to bring out panic on people, but it's just a wake-up call for the people of Africa to wake up and see that these guys, these foreign people, they cannot live without African mineral resources. And also, I heard that there's a protest coming up for border, like for the border to be tightening. At this moment, even the border where they are, everything should be tightening in Ghana, because Ghana have everything that the Western world wants. They have everything that the Western world wants. And the way President John Dramani Mahama is going is not giving them chance. Their eyes is on Ghana. All of them are choking on Ghana. It's just as if they capture the country Ghana, they've captured other African country. So at this moment, it's just a wake-up call for everybody, most especially African countries. Like, you have to wake up, because if we hear boom, all of us are in this Africa. All of us, in as much as we are claiming Nigeria, claiming Ghana, one Africa now will be. So we have to wake up and don't allow these guys to take us unaware. Yes, to take us unaware. Just like what happened to Venezuela president. Now, helicopter in Ghana. What is the helicopter doing in Ghana? Anyway, this is what I have to say. Let me know your options, your opinion, on the comment section. Drop your honest opinion on the comment section and enlighten us more on the current situation happening, because everywhere is beginning to be tensed. This is New Year with a tensed New Year. Anyway, Happy New Year once more. Please do well by liking this video, subscribe, share this video. Thank you so much. I'll see you on my next one.